Presentation of The Fall of Prince Hamlet. This is a modern adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet created by both Mackenzie Kruszeski and Philip Lindhuber. In our reimagining of Shakespeare's classic Hamlet, we decided to work on the internal conflict, family betrayal, and pursuit of justice from Hamlet in our play called The Fall of Prince Hamlet. In a quick overview of this, it's a modern adaptation of Hamlet focused on internal conflict and family dynamics. Uh, it mostly retains the original themes of betrayal, madness, power, justice. This is reimagined for contemporary stage production, which means it's more modernized towards how we view Hamlet comparatively to the way Shakespeare created it. Uh, the current characters that we have incorporated in this short three-act play were Gertrude. She was the Queen of Denmark, also known as Hamlet's mother. Hamlet himself, who is the Prince of Denmark, son of Gertrude and the late King Hamlet. Claudius, who is the new King of Denmark, Gertrude's second husband, and also known as Hamlet's uncle. And the ghost of Hamlet, the spirit of Hamlet's father. Act 1, Reflection and Memories. This is just a quick overview of the act where we see Gertrude's guilt is longing and she has thoughts about many different struggles she's having. Also in this act, the ghost of King Hamlet appears and we get flashbacks of young Hamlet and Gertrude. There's emotional groundwork that's laid down for this tragedy. In the second act, we see struggles and revelations. So this shows more of Hamlet's inner turmoil and encounter with the ghost, his father. Gertrude begins to see Claudius's corruption within the whole play. And then Claudius pressures Gertrude to choose a side, either Hamlet or himself. In Act 3, there's a great confrontation and major tragedy where the tension explodes in the Queen's chambers. Hamlet confronts and kills Claudius. And then Gertrude becomes very devastated over the consequences of Hamlet's actions. This ultimately ends up with Hamlet ending up in despair and trying to reconcile his feelings of what went on. Our cast that we chose for these four characters include Timothy Chalamet as Hamlet. He's very complex, introspective portrayal of Hamlet's conflict. We have Gertrude, who is played by Kate Blanchett. She's very emotional, in-depth, and she has a great, powerful presence. Claudius will be played by Idris Elba. He has a very commanding presence with nuanced villainy. And also the King of Hamlet, we want to be portrayed by Mark Rylance. He has more of an ethereal and human touch to the characters he's actually played. Our set ideas include mostly these two areas. They needed to reflect both the palace and the psychological torment of Hamlet and Gertrude. The design we wanted to highlight the contrast between the regal, cold environment of the Danish court and the chaotic emotional state of each of the characters. So the two major scenes we include are going to be one in the throne room. It's gothic, it's dark. There's a centralized mirror symbolizing Hamlet's self-obsession, where it's not very well lit and it's just he's focused upon himself. The other scene is the Queen's Chamber. It's opulent but somber. So this represents Gertrude's conflicts, where she wants it to be good, but then, that isolation is very self-deprecating. Our costume design, we were chose three different characters. The first one I have here is Hamlet. His main initial costume, first costume, is a black tunic with subtle blood red accents. This shows the mourning for his father, symbolizing both grief and the impending violence. So it's dark. It has that hint of stuff that's going on. Eventually, he has a second costume where it's all disheveled, torn version of that same tunic he wore in the beginning. And as Hamlet descends further into madness, the colors are muted and flashes of red are there to signify the rage and bloodlust. So it changes from a complete formal type of costume to a disheveled, kind of showing the inner workings of his brain and the bloodlust and how things end up with Hamlet. The next costume design was Gertrude. So in the beginning, we wanted to show her regal gown, soft blues, how important she was, her position as the queen, but also how fragile she is underneath and how that can possibly be taken advantage of. In the second costume change she had, it's more black, a heavy gown, final confrontation showing her grief, guilt, and the weight of her actions. So she's chosen more of I don't want to say a death color or a black mourning color, where she has transitioned from that soft blue to that dark black, intense sadness and despair with grief and guilt. We also have Claudius, who is currently, I guess, the king in our story. His first costume is deep, rich red with gold robe signifying power and ambition. So he's all neat, regal, wants to play that role in that role. As time passes over the scenes, it becomes more of a tattered version of the robe. It would eventually represent his moral decay and unraveling of his control as this tragedy unfolds. So he goes from nice, presentable, formal wear royalty would wear to a more disheveled, because he's under so much influence and power that he just is starting to crumble away and his true self is beginning to show. We had to create a promotional poster. So our poster, as seen here on the left side, would be hung around so people could be drawn in. But this poster kind of features a shadowy figure, which we know is Hamlet, holding a skull and a fractured mirror reflecting his face in those fragments, showing how broken his brain is and how he perceives everything that's going on in his life. We wanted to get a tagline to get people involved into this. So the tagline is, "The throne is bloodstained, the heart is shattered." So it shows that he's going to be, there's some kind of violent action or tragedy that's going to happen, and his love or loss of love is just, it's going to shatter who he is completely. So for our budget breakdown, we do have a couple of slides for this, just because there was a lot to go through and try and figure out. So our beginning venue rental, we wanted either London, New York, something like that. Probably cost us about $5,000 a night. Rehearsal space, just to get the actors going and everything like that, for about 4 weeks is about $1,500 a week, totaling into about $6,000. Director's fee, we'd want somebody who was a little more renowned, someone who was well known, just to draw people into this production. So it's probably going to cost us at least $50,000 for these three scenes, for this type of production scale. actor breakdown is going to be quite the heft, though. Timothy Chalamet under Hamlet, we kind of estimated 300,000 for the short run production based on his market value in film and theater. Kate Blanchett, we estimated probably about $250,000. Idris Elba, we estimated about $200,000. Mark Rylance, we estimated $150,000 just to get them to work in this short production. So the total cost is probably about $900,000 for our actors because we wanted more of a presence for this production. That way we got more draw for it. Further budget breakdown, set and costume design, our set construction based on what we had for just the throne room and the Queen's chambers came to about $50,000. We probably could shave something off of that, but we wanted to show more what the regal side of everything, so we wanted it to look really nice. Costume design and alterations, $30,000. Having maybe one or two outfits for each of these characters, and then as you know, they may grow in size or change, adjustments so they have mobility. Seems about average for that area. Marketing, our marketing and promotional materials, including posters, social media, etc. We're probably going to put into about $15,000 just because we would probably have to get onto outside of social media, maybe television or possibly streaming services, which would be great. Getting around town, billboards, I know that are very expensive. I didn't go too far into seeing how much everything was. But we were going to spend probably about $15,000. Even with the names put into it, I think word of mouth would be hopefully on our free end. Miscellaneous for lighting, sound, and other production costs, we're going to throw in about $20,000. Seems about right because we would want decent lighting, especially going from the dark, dense throne room all the way to the bright, luminescent but tragic end into the Queen's chamber. So on a full budget breakdown, if we had to list it out, our venue rental is about $5,000 per night. Rehearsal space is about $6,000. Actors $900,000. Director's fees $50,000. Set costume design $80,000. Marketing $15,000. Miscellaneous $20,000. Which gave us about a total estimated budget of $1,275,000. Could be a little higher to 1.3 or 1.35 million, depending on how many nights we rent out, or if our actors' fees increase a little bit, costumes go a little over. All that marketing we might add more into, but it's quite a high budget. But most of our money is put into our actors, which I feel would promote a greater self production, having these actors in this wonderful 3-act, play to focus on another aspect of Hamlet. So all in all, The Fall of Prince Hamlet is not just a retelling, but a deeper exploration of grief, power, and the human struggle between duty and morality. Through the innovative set, costume design, a talented cast, and a compelling narrative, the play aims to capture the timeless struggle between loyalty, power, and the search for justice. We hope to transport the audience into a world where love, betrayal intertwine, leaving a lasting impact long after the final curtain falls. And on that note, thank you very much for our presentation, and we hope that you enjoy our short play, and maybe we'll see it in a production in the future. Who knows? But thank you for the experience and the wonderful time.